you know, I've had guests in from all over the country. I've had people travel down from Scotland. I've had people come up from London. I've had offers from people abroad to come on the show, which is amazing. But I tell you what, I love sitting down with a Scouser. Honestly, I love sitting down with a Scouser. I think because I love this city so much, and it's really become my home now. I feel really proud to be here, and I know that those are values that you hold as well.
Yes.
What is it that you love most about this city?
We're just unapologetically us. You know, I've never really been to another city where there's so much character in people, and it's instilled into like DNA. And no matter, even if you have a fallout with someone, and you know you could fall out with someone 5 minutes later, but if someone steps on their toes, you know you've got the back, and that's very proud. That's a very proud thing for me to come from here and be one of them. Slightly psychotic people at times, but we've got the best.
All the best ones are.
We've got the best hearts, you know, and we put everything into it, you know, and we'll do anything for anyone. The majority of us, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. I think this city has a real sense of itself, doesn't it? It's got a real strong identity that I think there's a lot of jealousy actually in this country towards Liverpool and Scousers and Merseyside and what that city looks like from the inside. I think there's quite a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what's funny? Like it's very deep rooted with us, just from my opinion. It goes back to many years, to someone we won't mention because they're no longer here. And it goes deep rooted. And instead of being bitter about it, we've just carried on being us and what we stand for. And you know, no one told us to do that. There was no blueprint to follow, but it just seems to be this area. Have you ever seen that meme or like thing where it's got like the Great Britain, and then it's got Scouse, and then it's got wall around everything. Like we poke fun at ourselves all the time, and not many people have got that to the credit where they can take the piss out of themselves and be okay with it. And you know, we're just a different breed, and I don't mind being the best type of mongrel. We're amazing, and I mean that in the best way, by the way.
Do you think it's changed? Have you noticed it change, like from when you were younger? And you'd go different parts of the country or different parts of the world even, and you'd take your Scouse accent with you. Have you noticed a change in how people speak to you and interact with you and treat you?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah. I mean, what was also annoying was when you go on holiday, and you know, no offense to, I've got family in the world, but when you go on holiday and they go, where you from? And they go, Liverpool. And they go, where? And they go, Chester. And they'd be like, you're not Scouse. CH, you know, Merseyside, yeah, but I mean, I used to get treated a lot differently. It's a bit better now because the older I've got, because of the job I've been in and being on podcasts and I'm being on a radio show and not being able to swear and slowing my speech down for certain people. Some people don't get onto that, your Scouse, and then they go, oh, after they've met you, and they're like, oh, so yeah, it's changed now slightly, but it used to be bad. It did used to be bad. Like I remember going to London for the first time, and they were so rude. And I was like, only asking, like, where, you know, you've seen the Tube, it's like Spaghetti Junction, you don't know where you're going. I still don't know, and I've been like loads of times. And they were so rude to me. And, you know, I was about 17, 18, and it was definitely an accent thing. As soon as they hear your accent, they're just like riff raff.
Yeah, treat you differently.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I grew up near Birmingham, and my mum's side of the family are like the thickest Brummies. I don't mean thick as in intelligence wise. Some of them are a bit dim. Sorry, mum. But they're all the thickest. Them so thick. It's like that. Them right down there, you know. And the attitudes that they face on a daily basis from people not from Birmingham, because it just sounds. The accent just
sounds harsh.
It just sounds harsh. Yeah. These are brutalist parts of the country. You know, Merseyside historically, you know, was a difficult place to come from. You know, economically, socially, you know, the scarce jobs were scarce. You know, and then obviously when Thatcher shuts everything down and the economy just sort of tanks. That thing.
I said it, not him. It was me. I'll take the blame. I'm good with it.
You're in good company, mate. There's plenty of Thatcher smiting goes on this show.
But you know what, was so hospitable up here, and like, you know, I've been in hospitality now for 15 years, and And there's so many people like from around the country and even like in Ireland and stuff who come back and visit whatever venue I go to, all because they met me in Ink years ago. And we've got one of the busiest like cities for people coming in for outside parties because we know how to treat people and we know how to throw a good party. So that's another thing I love about being Scouse. We're so hospitable up here compared to other cities. And
well, people come from miles and miles around to go to our nightclubs and go to our bars and our restaurants.
Yeah, I know.
And you've been at the forefront of that, haven't you?
For a little minute.
How long? Let's get a couple of minutes.
It's 15 years this year.
15 years this year.
I've done a 15 years straight. I worked in Garland's years ago and another bar.
Wow.
That was a couple of years then, but on a straight run now it's 15. This is the 15th year.
For anybody listening who doesn't know what Garland's is, Garland's, when I first moved to Liverpool, so we're talking 2007, 2008, I think.
That was when I worked there. That was the best time.
We would have, our paths would have crossed.
Definitely.
Like I would have met you at some point.
Yeah.
I would have been in a terrible old state.
I would have been in G Bar in a total mess. And you know what? I wear that with pride. Not the gay pride, the actual pride in here.
So yeah, for anyone listening, Garland's and G Bar, there's an area of Liverpool. I guess it's still
Eberly Street, is it?
Yeah, I think
is
so.
Is it Eberly? If I'm wrong, don't come for me.
Yeah, it's just off Matthew Street. There's some really famous gay clubs there that were absolutely outrageous back in the day.
Yes, they were.
I remember going to Garland's for the first time and just looking around and thinking, what the fuck is this?
I went there one day and they had a doll's house in the middle of the dance floor while everyone's dancing around and everyone's in it, like, worse for wear, let's just say. And then I think that was the night they'd done a pajama party. I went in pajamas and I played a Playboy ears, like there's a picture somewhere and it's like, yeah, it's vile. And there was this person walking on stilts through the crowd and I was like, how is that person like not filling anyone? It was just the most crazy place I've ever been, but it holds a special place in here, like really does. It made me love hospitality. It really did.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. That's lovely to hear. Did. Well, you've always been an LGBTQ rights advocate, haven't you? I mean, certainly in terms of the hospitality sector. I mean, you've always been someone, it seems to me, who champions not just inclusivity but also safety in the bars and the nightclubs that you've been associated with. You've always made them places where gay and lesbian and trans people can go and feel not just validated and accepted, but safe. And that's a huge thing, I think, in any city. Because Liverpool's, it's a shame because I'm so proud to be from Liverpool, or be living in Liverpool rather.
You're adopted, don't we?
I'm adopted, thank you. Adopted, but there are,
and I'll nice it. I'll okay that.
Thank you. But we do have our fair share of hate crimes up here. You know, this isn't a place that is away from all that. We do have those things up here. So the work that you've done over the years has been incredibly important.
Sadly, yeah, some people haven't evolved. You know, like it's just leave them big. Does it really matter who's putting what in who? Like, you know, if you want to put it in the most simple terms. Does it really matter? Is it going to affect your life? No. And it's like, you know, I don't know, when you were talking about the inclusivity and stuff like that, I done a night in Alma called Seven Sins, and I had a transgender dancer, and I based my night off Garland's because no one was doing anything, and it was full on theatre performance. We had like a pyromaniac nun spitting fire on the altar, and you know, wow. And then we had an angle grinding voodoo queen who was the transgender performer, and it was a big risk, and people was like, it won't work, and it did, and it was amazing. And you know, if that's what I can give back, at least like to the community itself, and then I won the LGBTQ plus. Not there's so many letters now. I really don't put any more on because it's really hard saying them as it is. But yeah, I won the hospitality award for the work that I've done at Alma, just for that, based on that, and you know, that in itself was probably one of my proudest moments in the industry I'm in. Just before we carry on, my mum always told me to never ever turn up somewhere without a gift. So, there's your gift. So I work for L1 Scent. I don't know if you smelled what I had on when I came in. This is my own scent. It's coming up next month. That's not my own scent. This is just one of the other ones they do. But I wanted to give it to you and give you a little gift.
This is so kind.
It's hospitality.
Honestly.
Queen of hospitality.
Nobody's brought me a gift on this show yet.
Well, Craig Cavanagh.
I just want to make this clear. I'm looking straight down the camera now. I just want to make this very clear. anyone coming on this show in the future who doesn't bring me a gift,
and you. I have set the standard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is the benchmark. Gifts or snacks. Oh wow! Oh, this is beautiful.
Give a little spray to yourself. So when mine comes out, when you come on my show, I will give you the one I've got on now, which is my own scent we've created. So yeah, it's L1 Scents. It is amazing.
Oh,
you're welcome. I have that effect on men.
Oh goodness me! Should we shut off the cameras? Oh mate, that's really kind of you. Thank you.
Don't be so silly.
Oh, I smell absolutely divine now.
So yeah, well, it goes with the whole look now, doesn't it? But yeah, so the hospitality side of things, I have always tried to push things forward. Like when we've had like security firms, I've always made it like a point of saying, you know, make sure anyone who is from the community is protected, and you know, it's a little thing, but it goes a long way just to make sure that people are taken care of. And
is it better now, do you think, as a whole across the spectrum of nightclubs and bars, certainly in Merseyside, because I know that's where you're based and where you operate? Is it better now? Is it safer? Do you feel?
I mean, there's still improvements to be made, and you know, it's the same with everywhere. But I don't know whether it's just because of the way we are here, but I do feel like the level of hate crimes could come down, but they're nowhere near as bad as any other city. Like most of the time, we look after our own here. It's, you know, it's not as bad as it was, but there's still miles of improvement to be made. Just leave people be.
Yeah, you know? Just let people get on. I don't understand, right? And I might be missing something, but I don't think that I am. The furore over trans people in the last couple of years that has been all over the press, all over podcasts, all over politics in this country and in the United States. I don't get the threat. I don't get the concern. I genuinely can't understand why anyone's asked about anyone else's genitals.
Like there's stuff going on, and there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Like do it always reminds me of like when I was in school, I hated history, and the reason I hated it was like because, well, okay, it's okay for me to know like important facts, but I wasn't there, so it doesn't concern me. So anything that doesn't really concern me, doesn't threaten my life, why the hell would I pay any? Why would I give it airtime? Like just move along, move on to something more important. Like, did I shave me chest hair properly this morning? You know, it's like. That is more important to me than
far down your list. It's so far down your list of priorities. But that's what I just don't understand. I don't understand it. All the social commentators and politicians out there, who just seem intent on trans rights.
Well, look at you. Like I'll use you as a prime example. Like, look at the role you filled. Like, and you had no problem. And you know what, you've done it justice, by the way. And you know. I had seen the thing the other day where you said it was like kissing a hairy woman. It made me laugh. But look, if an actor can look beyond that and play this massive role, which is a gay role, and not be bothered, why is what's his face who's driving around on a little bike with a cat wig? Why is he bothered about, you know, someone down the road who's walking around with a rainbow flag, a pair of hot pants? It's just like, just let them be. It is what it is.
Have you experienced much homophobia in your life? Because you come across as supremely confident, and I guess part of that is because of the job that you do and the consultancy work, and you're very much front of house, aren't you? And you're very hands on.
I like being centre of attention. I'm an attention whore, and that is what it is too.
And now you've got a podcast as well, so you are au fait with putting yourself out there. Have you experienced much homophobia?
Do you know what? Like, you get the odd person saying stuff over the years. I've always been really lucky because my circle of lab mates have always been straight because of the way I am in general, my demeanor. I dress up well, but I am a Scouser. Really. I am from County Road in Walton, so because of the way I am in general, I've never really had that issue. People have said stuff, but took off the water's back, and just like, you know, the odd thing.
How was it when you were growing up in this city? How was it coming out to everyone in your family and all that? Were they very supportive?
Yeah, I mean, but people knew before. Well, I knew, but people knew, but I never told them. But then I used to like go with girls, so it was sort of threw them off. But it was like I used to have to think about bloody. I mean, the 13 to 16, you can get Yeah, I mean, you can get the hard on about a wall, but so it was easy to fake it then. But it got to a point where I was like, might as well just come out. It's people now, but I kind of threw people off sometimes. But yeah, I came out. Came out to me mum, and she was like, "Oh, it's because you're doing performing arts, and you were all in that world." And I was like,
blame
yeah,
the thespians,
Maria, honestly, love. So, and then I came out again when I was I just reiterated when I was 18. And my dad was so cool about me. Dad was like an odd fella, really odd fella, and he was like, "Couldn't love you more." My mum was like, "Oh, why?" Because she's not, she think we're not going to have grandkids, and I was like. I think I said something like, "Well, it was your egg that made me gay," it was something like that.
Yeah.
But she was more. It was more just like because I look like her and she looked like her dad. I'm the firstborn, so I'm the original egg. So I think she was just sad about that, but it doesn't mean I can't have. I am gonna have a baby, but yeah.
Are you?
Yes. So I was on Scoutstad's their podcast. I can't name another podcast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was on their podcast and I discussed it with them. So I've got my egg donor. Yeah, my egg donor is a really good friend. Known him for many years.
You're doing a surrogate?
I've got 2 egg donors actually, but the one I'm going to use, really good friend, lover. We've been close for years, and someone in my family is going to carry it for me. So yeah, so I'm going to do the 2026 over 40s. I think it's the PCA. I'm going to go for men's physique over 40, not 40 till the November this year, and then once that's done, I'm gonna have a baby. I can't wait. I love kids. I absolutely love kids.
That's amazing.
I already know. On my baby shower, I'm gonna come in with a fake bump on it. I already know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Of course you are.
It's gonna be like a mini wedding. It's gonna be the party of the year. But yeah, so my mum never had to worry. She didn't have to worry about that. But she got over it. I think it was just the shock, and everyone was fine. Like I really haven't got no complaints on that side of anything. It was more the struggle for me. Like it was more my struggle. Like I lived a double life for so long, and then when I was like, I still don't feel comfy with it. So it took me a good while to feel comfy with being gay. I knew I was gay, and I'd been through a number of people, and by that time, so when
you tested the water,
yeah, put me toe in, yeah, maybe. In the metaphorical speaking, not. Yeah. Anyway,
you didn't need to clarify that.
I felt like I didn't. I think I've just dug a hole really big there. So yeah, it was a more coming to terms with the fact of being gay, because I was so used to pretending or hiding that side of it. It took me about 7-8 years to. Yeah.
Wow. Because it's acceptance as much as anything else, isn't it? It's not just informing everybody else and the wider community and putting the flags out and all that kind of stuff. It's a self-acceptance thing and what that means for you as a human being.
Half people these days, they don't realise, and I hope they take note of this. They look for acceptance from people, but I think it's self-acceptance is more important 100%. Than anything. Like now, I'm just like where I'm confident now more than I've ever been, because I'm happy with the way I look. I'm happy in my skin. But years ago, I used to fake confidence. I used to be like, just get out there and fake it. Like, so it's more of when the self-acceptance is what you need. You don't need validation from anyone else. If the validation comes after it, fine. If it doesn't, they can move themselves on politely and we can move forward. Then that's the way life should be.
100%. It's a lonely experience, isn't it? When you're having to pretend that you're something you're not, and having to live up to different expectations and present yourself in a different way. It can be a really lonely thing.
And you know what? I think it really done me really good to exercise that part, where like I had to pretend that I liked who I was and pretend fake confidence, because in hospitality sometimes you really do have to fake with Karens and people of that nature. So it was a good exercise over the years, and I think that's how I've perfected it.
Yeah, that's great to see. You seem like you're in a really, really good place. You seem like you're in a really, really good place. What part of your sort of life do you enjoy the most? Because I know you do consultancy work for nightclubs. You've got a new nightclub launching very soon.
So this Friday, yeah, it's called Sips. It's on Slater Street. It's a high-end cocktail bar. It's very retro, vintage. They have live music. So I've based like the whole cocktail menu around 80s vintage singers. So there's one called Diana Rossini, a called one Earth, Wind and Fireball. So I really went all out on it. So that launches this Friday at 8 o'clock. I'm also involved with Rope Walks Hotel, Masons, the Clubhouse, that Sefton Collection all together. I used to be the GM of Masons, and then I moved somewhere else and went back. Now I'm the creative leader as a consultant, which is really good. We've done some really brilliant concepts there.
Wow. What does that look like then? The consultancy side of it. Are you, so places hire you, you go in there and you go, right, I think this is what you guys should do. This is what you
need, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like a one-stop shop for hospitality, where
that's amazing.
Menu writing, core manual, creating a concept right down to the entertainment, what entertainment.
So you can literally do everything.
I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't get in the kitchen. That's not my vibe.
No, but you could put everything together, from the theme to the music to the style to
everything. Yeah.
Wow.
1,000,000%. Like, but I learned that from when I worked in Ink. I was there for 6 years, and most of the everything I probably owe everything I am today to them. They took a chance on me. They molded me, even when I was a pain in the ass. And most of the way I work now is because of the things that they taught me, and me soaking things up like a sponge from them. I just loved the way they worked, and I still speak to a few of them now and again, and they were like family for a long time. We were there together for 6 years, nearly every day with them. So I owe them a lot, but most of what I do today is because of them. So
that's so cool. I love it. I used to do a lot of work in the hospitality sector, obviously because I'm a jobbing actor. When I lived in London, I had lots of jobs because London's really, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had 4 jobs at one stage, and I still couldn't really afford my rent. Yeah. So that's London, isn't it? That's London. Yeah. So instead of paying a bit of rent, I just paid like no rent for about 6 months. If I hadn't have landed Hollyoaks, I'm not quite sure what would have happened. I'd have probably been kicked out. I used to work in a bar in Kilburn, and it was the only bar that was open late in that area. We were open till 4 a.m. every single night of the week.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. So you can imagine the type of people that came in after 11 o'clock.
I'm imagining. Yeah, I can see it. Like The Walking Dead.
It was a baptism of fire.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically anyone who came in after 1 o'clock was either on drugs or selling drugs. It was brutal. Honestly, someone threw a chair through the window one night, shattered this huge window. I had this one guy come up to me one night, and he ordered a round of drinks. He was on his own. He ordered a round of drinks, and he said, I said, oh, that'll be 20 quid or whatever. And he said, I've got no money. He said, if you don't pay me, I'm gonna cut you up.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I was like, well,
heavy.
I'm not paid enough to do this, so I've obviously drink away. It was wild.
That's not something I've ever had. I don't even know how I'd react. I'm like quite shocked. I've got no money. I'll cut you up. By all means.
Yeah, do you know what
I'll get you another round.
Yeah, that was literally what it was like. Would you like some peanuts, some olives?
I'll open the till and I'll get 20 quid out and give you the best for that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Do you do much front of house stuff once these places open?
Do you know what? So I left. Mama Sam was the last place that I general managed. It was last.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah.
That's where I know you from, isn't it?
Well, I created Dim Sum Disco for them.
That's right.
Tribe and Mama's Mixtape, which they still use now, which is the concept. So I left there in, I think it was the 4th of May, the 3rd of May. I'm dead good with dates.
You really are.
I'm scatty. And then I went to Ibiza for 3 days, and then when I came back, I recuperated for 2 days, and then I started on the 11th, I think, the consultancy. And I was like, you know what, let's just do consultancy. So my first consultancy was the old Justino's on Egbert Road. It's now called Amici. So I helped them launch that. And I was there for like a month and a half or 2 months doing the consultancy. And then I was like, do you know what? Do you want me to just like stay on and I'll help on the floor? And I would just miss being with customers. Like, oh, I missed the limelight already. so then I left there. That like the time was done there. And then I spoke with Connor, who's the Sefton collection owner, and he's like, come and create 2 concepts for me. And I was going back to Ibiza. I know, I was an Ibiza whore at the time. And he was like, I was like, 2 concepts. And then he went, oh, just let me know when you, so he texted me the next day. And he was like, oh, just bring the concepts, do them when you come back. And I went, I've already done them. He was like, what? And I was like, so I went in, seen him. And then he was looking for like a creative leader and blah. So I just said, you know what, let me do it. Oh. So I've been there since, created a new Saturday evening called Burlesco, which is a burlesque disco. Amazing, honestly, it's unreal.
A burlesque disco.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of like it was a throwback to Studio 54. I wanted to be really camp and theatrical, so we've done that.
I love burlesque.
No, it's honestly, you'd love it.
Have you ever been to? I went to an amazing night. Have you been to Alan Cummings' bar in New York?
I haven't been to America since 2007. So
Alan Cummings' bar in New York. What's it called now? It's in the. It's South Manhattan. What's it called? Shit, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, I went there. they had a burlesque night on there, and oh my god, it's the funnest thing I've ever been to. Campus tits, everyone being outrageous.
That's what I mean. So ours is like a lively dining thing. So because of like I never say how old are you. I always go, how young are you? Because I think just discount numbers. I'm a bit like Mariah Carey. I just discount just numbers don't mean a thing.
I thought when I saw you today, I thought Mariah Carey vibes.
Yeah. You don't know what it is, because people always go, he's a bit of a diva. And I'm like, I don't think a diva is such a bad thing. You know what you want, and you know you don't have to throw a diva strap if they just do it. So I'm at that age now where you won't catch me in like 54 or anything like that, because I'm like, you know, I'm a cougar now. I've got to look after everything a bit closer. But like Death Becomes when they drink that elixir, that's what I feel like, that old film. So I created something which was more for like maybe late 20s, like 29, 30, up to my age, where you can go out, lively dining aspect, you still get the club vibe. You can eat at the same time. You do everything in the same venue. You don't really have to go anywhere else. And that's what it is. Lively dine and stay at the table.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
There's a bar.
You have to come down. I would
love. Oh my god, I'd love to. I don't go out.
Well, now you've got a friend to come out with now.
Oh, bless you.
You've got a bestie now.
Oh, bless you. Honestly, I don't get out much these days. I'm kind of hyper focused on like taking care of myself. And I know I think sometimes that can become a bit of a negative, can't it? Like, I think I know what you mean. As we approach kind of 40, like I'm 41 now, and the last couple of
41?
Yeah.
You look, blood looks good.
Bless you.
Yes.
It's my mother's genes. As I get a little bit older, like, because we know intrinsically that we have to start looking after ourselves better. Like you mentioned that you used to go to Ibiza a lot and be a bit of an Ibiza whore.
But I'd save it all up for the Ibiza trip, and then I don't go out anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I would be exactly the same back in the day, 10, 15 years ago. Love an Ibiza trip. I can't go to Ibiza now.
Last year was me last year.
I can't do it, Craig. I just can't. I feel like everyone's granddad for a star. And also, the hangover, or the come down, whatever you want to call it, it cripples me.
Vile.
I'll
see a dog walking down the street and I'll be crying.
Yeah,
like at the dog.
Mate, the tears.
It's a dog. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I will cry. I cry at adverts. I cry if I see an old couple holding hands. I'm sobbing.
I'll cry at I'll cry at the best times. Like if someone tells me a sad story, I'll cry before they will, because that's the way I am anyway. So you can imagine when I'm worse for wear. Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
No. So last year was me last year. So then I came back from there and then I went there, done all the concept. And they've got a hotel bar in there, so we created a concept called Gin or Juice. We've done it with applied nutrition, so you can get smoothies, you can get protein drinks, you can get really healthy bites, or as the tagline I made, it was like if your mood is it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you can have a gin, a cocktail, and you can have whatever sandwich, nice. No matter, you don't count the calories.
Nice.
So we've made some really good concepts together and put some really good events in there over the past 2 or 3 months. So I'm just looking forward to kind of carrying on working with them. But yeah, and I'm also with Supreme CBD now, 1 day a week. I'm going to be doing the creative stuff for them.
Oh, nice.
I need to talk to you about that after you as well.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'm always game for a little endorsement or whatever, especially with CBD. CBD's great.
If I didn't take it, I mean, I'd probably be...
I have a friend who's got ADHD and uses those CBD patches. Have you seen them?
No.
Oh my god.
Honestly, like I don't know how I'm still an erratic person. I've always had ADHD. I dread to think what I would be like with this workload if I didn't.
If I
didn't take it, yeah. I'm on the they do like I can never say it. Shilajit. I can never say it. Shilajit. I should just say shit, but with the L in the middle. And then ashwagandha. I'm on the Focus, the lion's mane, and honestly, like it
made a big difference.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Do you prioritize your health and your mental health these days?
Definitely, my mental health is first, so that's why the gym is such an important place. It's like me place of worship, if you will.
Yeah. Is that one of your non-negotiables? Going to the gym?
Absolutely, yeah.
How often are you training?
So my training used to be 5 days a week, but now it's 4, but it's more intense. So whatever my trainer is telling me, because he's a bodybuilder, he's done all kinds, won all kinds. So he's just telling me up, down, do this, left, right. So I got changed all the time, but so I'm only on 4 days, but I'm doing a lot each day. Yeah, it's I'm there about 90 bloody minutes.
Wow.
But I do love it. Like there's no better feeling than looking good naked. And you know, even now I'm bulking. I'm 86 kg, but I it's gone to the right places. Even though I still feel a bit fluffy, it's gone to and I cut in 2 weeks. Like, oh wait, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Are you doing like a photo shoot or anything?
Every day's a photo shoot. Do you know what it is? My mum, someone said to me, and it's a funny story because someone brought it up to me yesterday. It was me mate. Who was it on a message? Anyway, I'll get back to that. So my mum always used to say to me, never walk out the house without looking your absolute best as you can, and always walk as if there's a camera on you. So, and everyone always mentions about, you've got great posture, this and that. And I'm like, it's because my mum instilled it to me at such a young age. So I've always kind of looked after myself the best I can, especially as soon as I hit 30, 31, I was like, no, I've really got to take care of myself now. So I told someone yesterday what I said on message. Who was it? Anyway, and he replied back and went, that makes total sense now. Looking at from the first time I met you, that makes total sense to your personality.
So has it been sort of how old are you, Craig? Do you mind me asking?
How young am I?
Yeah, how young are you? Sorry.
39.
39, yeah.
39.
Similar kind of age bracket. So is it since you were sort of early 30s that you thought, right, I'm going to have to start making some changes?
I used to do gymnastics as a kid, and then I used to train in KB with the KBABC lads in the boxing gym with them for 2009 for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And then my dad got sick, and I just let myself go for a couple of years, and then I remember looking in the mirror, and I was like, get out the biscuit tin, lad. And I say this to everyone. And I say the same thing all the time because it's like the truth. And I just turned my life around, and I was so stupid. Not stupid, but I wanted to get the fat off me. So I safely cut all the fat off instead of just building what I had and shedding it, and then started again and just built it from there. So I went like down, I think I was about 66 kg, totally like ripped, but there was only bits of muscle there. So I built it from that,
nice.
Rather than just being like, you know, saving half the time probably. But
yeah. How bad did it get when you said you got quite big?
15 stone. Yeah.
Wow.
And I had a skinhead at the time.
Wow.
Like it wasn't my most attractive look. No.
Jesus.
And then I look at pictures now and I'm just like,
did anything?
Who the fuck is that guy? Yeah. How didn't you notice? The clothes didn't fit. What?
I was skinny fat. Do you know skinny fat?
Yeah.
So like I wasn't. If you looked at me, you wouldn't think, oh, there's a big fat guy.
But if you tapped.
But if I took my shirt off, you'd be like, oh gosh, there's loads. There's like loads of stuff.
What's going on here?
There's stuff going on. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, look, we're all work in progress, aren't we? For me, yeah, I don't think I had much choice, but I wasn't blessed with kind of your historic use of boxing gyms and gymnastics and all that kind of stuff. I did nothing. Nothing. Like,
not a thing.
Not a thing. Like I couldn't run a bath. Like I stopped playing football when I was about 16.
See, I would have said rugby for you, but maybe that's because of the way you look now. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'd look all right tearing down the wing on a rugby pitch right now.
That's what I mean. You look like you've just.
I've got bigger.
Yeah, you've got a really good build.
But yeah, I did basically no exercise. Like I was really skinny at drama school. I was like painfully skinny, but I was living on a diet of like chocolate spread on toast and cigarettes, basically.
Chipsticks.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was so unwell.
I love chipsticks.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
I'd go through a kilogram bag now.
Or the salt and vinegar discos.
Stop it.
And then the bottom, with your mouth's burning, but you've got to have the rest of it in the bottom.
Stop it. Crisps. Crisp. What's your top crisp? What's your favourite crisp?
Oh, that's a good question. It's probably out of like I love bacon fries, but I had sea salt into the packet. Try it. No, it's
You
unreal.
put sea salt on bacon fries?
Like, yeah, sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. Shake the bag. It's a game changer.
Oh my God.
I
I didn't think bacon fries could be improved upon.
I loved onion rings. Yeah, I'm good at them. Or cheesy Doritos. I mean, mate said to me the other day, what's he called? He went creep or something. And I was like, cheesy Doritos with like garlic peri sauce on is just another level.
Anything cheesy. I'm all about that.
Excuse me.
Monster Munch, pickled onion Monster Munch. God, I haven't had crisps. I haven't had crisps in about 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I just think, and this goes back to what I was saying before about it can sometimes, I think, become a little bit unhealthy if you're so kind of.
I'm a balanced kind of guy.
Yeah,
like,
you seem like you're balanced. I wish I had that. I wish I had that about me.
We'll balance you.
We'll
balance you. We'll get you down. You don't have to have a baby. We'll get you down. Get you out the house.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. But yeah,
just the cobwebs off. You can come and have some food and watch your blessed dancer and the fire be there. Come on.
Mine's the guilt. I feel insanely guilty if I eat badly, or if I don't prioritize my sleep, or if I miss the gym. I feel really guilty these days.
Yeah, I used to get that, and then I got to a point where I was like, tough shit, just get on with it. That was my thing. It was like, I used to struggle with, like, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm really bad with it. I used to struggle when things didn't go correctly the right way, and then I just learned to it's not the end of the world. Like, so now, if I'm cutting, I'm really strict, and I love that side of my life, but. Like now bulking, or even if I was like just normally cutting or just keeping it at a steady weight, if I want to have a full bottle of wine and a bar of chocolate, I will. Or if I want to, and do you know what it is? It's having that balance. You're less likely to fall off if that's the case. That's what's got me through, because I'm a very all or nothing. So I've kind of found a happy medium where I just seesaw.
Yeah, you seem like you found.
But when I cut for holiday, it's like I'm cutting for the UFC championship. Honestly, you should. Honestly, I'm like, no, don't even breathe on me.
You're
when
in a sauna with like with an overcoat on,
and you think I'm honestly like the undergarments under the undergarments, I sweat more out in the gym, and that the Stairmaster is my best mate, and the bike. Yeah, I'm a killer for like just overdoing it, because I'm like. Even if the first day I get there and I just get that one picture where I look unreal, and then I'll do what I want then.
I love that. I love the idea. I'm going to Lanzarote next week, so I am going to be quite restrictive to myself over the weekend in terms of food and fluid and stuff, because I'd love to have one picture, just one on day one, that I can fix and change and make.
You don't need to fix it.
No, just give me a tan. Just give me a tan, because I am pale as you.
I've got a trick for you. So when you take a picture, keep your finger on it, and when it goes to that auto lock thing or whatever it does, just turn that down.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then take the photo.
I'm really glad you came in.
I'm really glad I came too. I loved it.
No, I am. I don't share.
You've got so much to learn from me, darling.
I really have. You're gonna have to take me under your wing.
SAS 101. I should write a book. Really, it'd be a good one.
I don't really share that many kind of topless photos or stuff like that. I've never been that kind of guy. Really, I think
I'm just laughing about the photo I've done before.
No, I think there's only 2 topless photos on my Instagram, maybe. I think, and even then, I obsess.
All the gays are running to Instagram now.
Darling, you speak like they're not already there.
Yes, love that.
But I obsess over it before I post it, and I know that's really unhealthy. Like, I'm a 41-year-old man. Like, I really shouldn't care less about these things.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, look at the way you look. Like, and like now I've tamed it down. So like the photo I was laughing about was on my 36th birthday. I done like a sat on with 2 bottles of Bel Air, because I was doing work for Bel Air then. I sat with nothing on, with me back, with these 2 bottles, and put that as my post picture. And everyone went, "Why have you done that?" And I was like, when I get to 40, I'm not going to be able to do it anymore. I can get away with it these next 4 years. So I was laughing at that photo because it got so many DMs. It got so much traction, and I was just like, fuck it, like this is the best I've ever looked in my life, even better than when I was 18, or in the prime, as they like to categorize. I couldn't even say it.
I wanted to ask you, are you still singing?
Do you know what? This is you know what, this week, so many weird things like this have happened to me. It's freaky.
I love weeks
So
like that.
Tommy Mac, who remixed my song, hi Tommy, Back to Life. And it got played in Ibiza and Ocean Beach twice by two DJs. One was Lee Morrison. Another was Tom from Upbringing Music, which was really good. I was there. I was crying like Chris Jenner. I was like video in the crowd. And so Tommy messages me 2 days ago and goes, the home studio is nearly done. You're going to come down, mate, and we'll do a little... That's a really bad impression of you. I'm so sorry, Tommy. Anyway, he loves me. It's fine. And he's like, you're going to come down and we'll get in and we'll do something new. So yes, I am going to do something new, but I haven't gone on the stage for a long time. I don't know when if they put an 8 day on the week, I might consider doing something. But I love music. I wrote all my own stuff, so
I know. You've been quite prolific in the past, haven't you? Mm-hmm. Like if you.
I mean, thank you. That was a nice word to use.
You have. You've released music that has been not just accepted but celebrated by people. Like people are into your stuff.
Yeah, I remember. Oh God, I can't remember his name now. I'm really sorry. Tav. Oh, I can't remember. He's a UFC fighter. Mm-hmm. And he tweeted about my song Pommy, the reggae one, and he was like, he sounded like Jason Mraz, love your style. And there was people like tweeting me about it, and I think it went to like 68 on the iTunes Soul something so many charts in America. And I was like, wow, how is that even happens? I was on MTV Unsigned, and this guy from Extenso Music, he contacted me. His name was Brad. And he was like, I love your song, Rise Again. Do you want to come down and re-record it? I've got 2 days. So I was like, yeah. So flew down. Never flew. Sorry, it's a Scouse thing. I went on the train and the tube and went and met him, went in the studio, and there was a Grammy there with the fellow who owns the studio. We worked with Sting, and he had a Grammy. And I was like, I think there's an old picture of me with the Grammy. I took the picture. And I took the Grammy actually. Then I wasn't fit the Scouse stereotype that they think it was. So yeah, I went down. I was like, I've got these other ideas as well. He went, we only got 2 days, and I was like, I'll have this done in 3 hours. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, trust me. So we done it. I done my own backing vocals 4 hours later. I was an hour off, and then I started singing. So I sang him these other ideas. One was called Find You, and then another one was called Pommy. And Pommy was very different to anything I'd ever done. It has a real reggae feel to it. And I nearly didn't record it, but then we recorded it, and then we got to like the chorus, and I just sang it like an octave higher and like a higher head voice, and it was like, no, this is brilliant, you've got to keep it. So we done them 3, and then we were on the last day, and he started playing these chords, and I was like, oh, this sounds like Emily Sandé, and I started just singing words, and it was, my mates had lost a sister a few months before to cancer. She was only 21. It was my best mate, Christina, and I started singing these words, and I done it the whole way through. Well, I've done the chorus, the verse, bridge, chorus, next verse, and then we had basically the whole song. And it's the only song I've never written the words down to in my life. Like I've always written it down. So that's the only song I haven't got a copy of the original lyrics that I wrote. And I was like, oh, can we read? And he was like, no, it's perfect the way it is. And he's like, don't want you to re-sing it. I just want you to put some like harmonies over, blah, blah, blah. So we've done 4 songs in 2 days. It was the quickest turnaround.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. And I can't play anything. So whenever I write, I'll listen. I'll get a melody in my head, and I've got to work with someone who's really like can do
music,
piano or guitar, and I'll sing what I'm hearing, and then they'll play it, and then I'll be like, well, this is the lyric that I've got to go over that, blah blah blah. So I don't know how I can do it because I've never been musically trained.
That's such a fun way of working though, because it's really organic, isn't it? Rather than it like being, oh, okay, well, this is in the key of G, so I need you to hit these notes in this order, and this is the melody. Yeah. For you, just going,
yeah, and then
just coming up with it.
It's weird because I don't know when chord progression comes, like when the bridge is meant to come.
Yeah.
But I don't know how because I've never done anything like that. I've always just been really good. I was really good in school with like poetry and really good at literature and language and obviously drama. You can tell already. And I was always really good with words, and I loved writing stories, and I remember writing poems, and then I sang for years in a cabaret show, and I'd sing covers. Like I was a hero, Enrique Iglesias' Hero. She's Like the Wind, like the really good crooner belter ones. And then I used to do Billy Idol, White Wedding as well. Funny.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like see the total opposites. Like it couldn't get any further from each other.
I did not expect you to take it there.
And then I'd stopped singing because I just lost like the love for it. Even though I love music, I lost the love for it. And then I remember it was around when that We Belong Together came out, that album. And I'd liked Mariah, but I never really liked it. And then I went back through her catalogue and I realised she wrote all her own stuff. And then her mother's an Irish opera singer, and like we've got Irish in us. So I had made all these little connections in my own head that were like basically related. Never didn't, but it's like funny everything. And it made me want to write. And then I think it was 2008. I just wrote the first one, which is called Love to Hate You, which is actually not even out. And then I wrote Rise Again, the second one, which was the one that went on to MTV Unsigned. So yeah.
Wow.
Music's always been in me. I'd stopped when about 2013, 14, just around the time my dad got sick. And you know what? I've got a body of work there, 2 bodies of work actually, that'll never go away. I'm so proud of. I wish it would have been a different way, but that wasn't my path.
Did your dad ever hear you sing? Did he hear you music?
Yeah, he did. I mean, when I was in the choir, when I was a kid, I had a really, really high singing voice, and then when it broke, he went, "You'll never sing again." So because he said that, I was more determined.
Right, I'm going to show you.
And then he came to a gig once, and I sang, and he was like dead proud. And he used to, and then my mum said, like, when he was in work, and when the EP came out, he used to like, and in the pub, he'd be bragging about it, and he was such a proud dad. And yeah, I wish I wish he was here now to see the evolved human I've become. But then if he was here, I might not have evolved because I always had him,
Yeah.
So I think when we lost him, it was just, I was like, shit, like, you've got to pull your shit together now. Like and so everything I kind of do now, it's like,
You got brothers?
Yeah, I've got a baby brother. He's not a baby. He's like 17 this year. No, he's not. He's 18 this year.
18.
Yeah. So I'm 40. My sister's 30, and my brother's 18 all this year. So
wow,
yeah,
that's a big old party.
Yeah, she didn't plan that properly, Maria, did she? When she left the like 10 and 12 year gaps between us. But yeah, so I've got a sister who's 30 this year, yeah, because she's 10 years younger, and my brother's 18 this year.
Wow. Did you when your father passed away, were you kind of did you assume that man of the house responsibility?
There was a certain like I wanted to just go off the rails and just go missing for a couple of days and sort of let it out in that way. And I remember looking at my mum and I was like, yeah, I can't do that to her. Like there was so much to do with the funeral and planning and we were just all about we were just about all holding it together. And there was I just thought you can't fly off the handle here. You can't, and I was there and I just done whatever was needed to make us survive. And and then I think it was about 5 months later after that I then moved out and I healed on my own. I moved into town. I was working in ink then, and I used to do my own grieving, and I was just on my own. And I'm very like, I went straight back to work. I was like, I don't want anyone to treat me differently. Like thank you for all the messages and blah blah blah. And I went, just treat me like you would normally, because I need this, because then I can go home and deal with myself, and then I can go and help where I can with my family. And yeah, it was a rough time. And it's I don't think you're ever really the same.
No.
But weirdly, I've ended up a better off person because of it. So I don't want to say every cloud has a silver line. That's a saying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best thing I can take away from it, is the person I am now.
Yeah, well, you are the result of your experiences in this world. So even if they're negative ones, that at the time are painfully sad and really difficult, and you mention it then, things are never going to be the same again. It's that loss of that identity that you had as a son, with a father and all that. It's having that gone and moving forward. But actually, all of these things that have happened to you, bad or good, have led you to be who you are today. And I think there's a lot of comfort in that, actually, because I lost my father 10, 11 years ago now.
So around the same age as I lost my dad.
Yeah, it would have been about the same age.
Because I was like, I'm not ready to be. I wasn't ready to be the grown up.
Yeah,
I was still a child in here. Not a child, but not evolved.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Kind of taking on that responsibility. And I was very lucky. I got an amazing stepdad. So from a sort of parental standpoint, I didn't actually lose anything in that sense. But it's still my dad. My father passed away. That's it's really fucking hard. But I do take great comfort in knowing that he would be really proud of
Definitely.
me. And I know you feel the same way. Like
Yeah.
in those moments those moments when they pop into your mind and you see something and you think, oh, he'd have loved that, or something reminds you
Yeah.
of them. That overriding feeling of like he would have been proud of me gives you such great comfort.
It means more than the living sometimes, like, because people like they'll say they're proud of you, which means the world. But when you get that feeling, you go, "Oh, I wish he was here for that." That's when you know, like, yeah, this is like a really big moment, and that would have been something that would have been like where they just grunted to you, because old school people don't like to over flourish, do they?
Yeah.
They don't like to embellish too much.
No.
It's like a grunt and like a pat on the back or a slap on the back of the head, like, you've done it right there.
Yeah.
And really, you smashed it, but then you knew you smashed it by just that. So
Yeah, just having that pat on the back.
yeah, or the clip around the ear, like, you didn't do bad there.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Are you someone that likes to do you talk about your issues? Do you talk about your problems?
Yeah,
Do you?
I'm very vocal. Yeah, I went
Good.
through a really bad patch in 2023 where I didn't speak, and it wasn't the best time. But generally, yeah, like, I prefer not to bottle anything in, one, because it lives rent free in your head, and I've always believed, like, when there's something that needs to be said, just say it. I did go through a phase of trying, I have to say a phase, it was about a week, where I tried to, like, be assertive about it, but that's not really me. So I'll just let whatever comes out, with no offense. Like, I don't mean offense, just let it come out, and it's always best to just be brutally honest.
It's a nice way to be. It's
Yeah.
a really nice way to be.
I mean, it wasn't for years. It was always like, big mouth there he is. Oh, look at him, can't shut his mouth. I'm like, yeah, and nothing's changed, hun. I can just do it better now with a bit more shade and use a bit more class rather than crass.
And a bit more intelligence.
Slightly
More intelligence.
I mean, some would differ, yeah, but some would beg to differ.
Yeah, I think we had a similar time a few years ago. You say that you went through a period where you didn't really speak too much, and you tried to sort of almost style it out and front it out, and kind of be a bit not arrogant with it, but a bit sort of bolshy with it, I guess. And I kind of had a similar thing. COVID was my time where I just fell to pieces and didn't.
That's
really,
where mine started.
Really,
yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Like in years to come, and I know we know this already, but I think in years to come, we will look back and study COVID and the impact that's had on.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made like a new name where it's like, like you have depression now, like something induced with like COVID induced,
because you can literally draw a line, can't you, before and after COVID? How we felt before and how we feel afterwards are two really different things.
You're very like me. You're like being around people. Like, I got my whole world ripped away from me. I went from seeing 1,000 people nearly every weekend in Ink to seeing myself for nearly 3 months, like and then I ended up like just going to people's houses. I thought it's either this or I'm not going to be here. Like, I remember about 2 weeks in, because the first 10 days I was like, oh my God, because I never used to take holidays and work. So I was like, this is lovely. And then when I realized I couldn't leave, it was like day 14 in Craig's apartment. And I remember ringing and going, is this really happening? Or am I losing the plot here? I went like through this really bad, dark phase, and it never really shifted. And then in about 2023, I hit a really bad wall, and I went through something like really bad, and I'm kind of lucky to be here. So it's
really,
yeah, there was just something where I just didn't want to be here anymore. I had all these amazing things happening around me. I had probably had the wrong people around me. That's probably what it was. I was bottling things up. I wasn't speaking. I wasn't seeing my best mate. I was just sticking around with a certain one or two people, and they kind of changed me, and it was a bad time. And as soon as I ejected them out of my life, I realized what was going on, and it was all stemmed back to partial from leftover COVID, and I just wasn't happy in life. But all these amazing things, I had all these amazing things happening, but I just wasn't feeling it.
It sounds like you were suffering from depression.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I was never really the same after COVID, but because when we went back straight back into work, I just didn't deal with it. I just pushed it to one side. Whatever it was not seeing people for that long just affected me because it's not. I know I'm a huggy person. Like you see, when I was like when I walked in, I'm a very huggy. I like human connection, and that time away from people just really, really fucked with me, like badly though. And then
Wow.
2 years after that, I hit this big massive wall, and it all. But it ends up the better because as soon as I came back after that, I won like 2 awards. Song got played in Ibiza. I hosted and interviewed on the red carpet for BBC Time in the second series. So it was like I had to hit that rock bottom and realize that this X, Y, and Z was not meant to be in my life, removed. And it just went up from there. So back to the thing where strange things happen and, bad things sometimes, well, not bad things, but certain things have to happen for you to realize that a change needs to be
How
made.
did you drag yourself out of that rock bottom feeling that you said you experienced?
Ooh,
How did you get out of that? Because I know what that's like,
well,
where you don't want to see your friends, you don't want to go anywhere, you have no the passion that you had for just life is just not there. The passion for work, the passion for social interaction, the passion for growth and ambition.
crazy, innit? It
just
just
gone.
goes, and and
Did you do anything to get yourself out of that situation?
now, I took about between 2 and 4 weeks off. I realized what was wrong in my life, changed it. When it came down to what like the really bad time, afterwards, I was sitting with the doctor, and they were like, you're lucky to be here. Like, do you still want to be here? You're having like any bad thoughts? And I was crying. I was like, no, I'm just so happy that I am here, and like I'm so happy that. So it was like it was the wake up call that I needed. So I took 2 or 3 weeks to work out what I needed to change in my life and who I needed to eject, and I've done it over a slow period and just changed. Yeah, it's a bit emotional to talk about because it's like
I can see.
when I look at it now, it's the most mortifying time. That was one of the most mortifying times, and I feel like shouting like I'm watching a telly show. Like, what are you crying for? What are you being like that for? You had all these things going on around you, but it's just not that simple. It's not that black and white. I don't think I'd done anything other than I just healed. I just took some time on my own and made changes that needed to be made. Because I'm one of them. I won't take prescription drugs. I'm not like, I just need. I think I needed to just realize that there was so many people around me that were using me for a job, using me for this. There was so many backhanded things going on in my life, and when I realized what was going on, when I sat down and looked at it, I just thought, well, now's the time to make the change. And that's my I wouldn't even say success story. That was my way out of the bad situation.
It is a success story, mate. It is a success story.
Thank you.
To drag yourself back from the brink, and I mean, it sounds like you're talking about, taking your own life.
I am. I just didn't really want to make it more because we've had a really nice. But yeah, it was I when the nurse said to me, she was like, all your bloods are fine, your liver, your toxicology is fine. You've missed everything, and you're just gonna heal up. You're gonna be fine. I was like, I've got this second chance in life, and I was like, I'm not gonna fuck this up. And I was crying, but it was like it was happy crying. It was like a happy cry, and all I kept thinking was, that's my alpha. That like he's been like, I don't want to see you yet. No, but I'm just trying to make a joke out of it. Out of an I just feel like he probably kept me here. Like, and I believe that because there's absolutely no way I should be here. So I'm grateful for life, and now my whole life now is just about gratitude and growth, and I'm wanting to make a difference in whatever way I can, and still work on myself every day. Still make loads of I can't wait to make mistakes so I can learn from them, and that's the way I want to look at life rather than, oh, I've messed up, and you will have them days, but if you can look at it in a different way where, you know, if you do make a mistake, just learn from it, you know, and that's the exciting thing. Oh, well, I've learned something new, rather than the doom and gloom of everything, you know. That's my little motto now.
You should feel really proud of yourself, mate. I hope you do, because when we go through things like that, when we hit rock bottom and we, you know, very nearly make decisions that would have not just impacted you and your life, but would have impacted so many other people. The fact that you went through that, the fact that you've come out the other side, the fact that you can now look back on that with such a clear mind and understand it for what it was, and take the lessons from it and the feelings, and know that if you ever feel like that again, if that black dog does start biting at your heels again, you know what it feels like, and you know how to get yourself out of it, and you know that there is actually light at the end of the tunnel. You're lucky.
And that's what I feel now. Like, I was such a lucky person, and some people haven't had that luck, and, you know, for one fleeting moment, or it could have been like over a period of weeks, months, whatever the situation is, they never got a second chance. So I'm like, I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to waste one moment. Like, I want to make the best. I'm going to have a kid. I want to pass whatever I do in my life down and say, you know what, I made you proud. And, you know, maybe it's a vanity thing because I want a baby. I want them to look like me. No, but it's like, you know, you want some type of legacy to pass on to someone. Even if I didn't have kids, I'd want this comeback or bounce back or whatever term you want to use. I want it to be something that, you know, maybe my sister, you know, tells me nieces when they're older, you know, like, you know, Craig went through this, and, you know, you seen what he done, or whoever. It could be a family friend or one of my mates speaking to their kids or their mates and saying, like, look, you know, we've just look at what, you know, Craig came back from it, or whatever. That's like, that would be a nice thing to be able to do.
Doing things like this, doing shows like this, talking to people like me on platforms like this. Yeah, don't underestimate the difference that these conversations make to people. You know, like, men, we don't talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My primary reason for starting this podcast was to encourage men from all walks of life to have these difficult conversations and to talk about these personal things in a safe environment, safe in the knowledge that I'm not trying to stitch you up or anything like that. I want to have a real honest conversation with you, and I want you to be vulnerable with me, and I in turn will be vulnerable with you, and nothing's off the table. I'll talk about anything. The reason that we want to do that is that other men listen to this, and some of them might see something or hear something in your story that reflects their current situation. But also, we're giving them permission to also have these conversations and to say these things out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
To put your hand up and say,
the wall started coming down slowly, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go there." And then when you said it, I was just like, "Let's just."
It's important.
Go there. It's not that I didn't want to,
but it's part
go
of
there. Yeah, it's just it. I think I'm so at peace with it now, and I've spoke about it on another podcast, maybe two actually. And I felt like because I've healed that much from it, I just, like, it's only been recently this where I've healed that much from it. I'm not okay with it. That it's just, sometimes I'll skip past using the words, but it's very important it's very important to get matters like this out in the open. And, you know, anyone who is thinking like that, I mean, you could just message me. Like, I'll speak to anybody no matter what time. I always reply to me DMs. I'm very good like that. But don't suffer in silence. That's probably the biggest thing I would ever say. Don't, even if you feel a slight change in your mood, if it lasts longer than a day, you know, make sure you just speak to someone. And I'm terrible. I always check in on my mates if they go quiet, even or if I get one word answers, which I hate, or the thumbs up emoji.
It's so passive aggressive, isn't it? That thumbs up emoji. Thanks, Craig.
It's like,
cheers.
There's just no face behind it. But that's exactly what. But then I do it to people, so I can't really say anything. But I mean, it is like an unwritten rule that they can't do it to you, but you can do it to them, isn't it? That's what? Like when you thumbs up someone's comment, it's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for them to do it to you? Or is that just me being a crank?
No, no, I think that's fair. I think there have to be. I think there have to be rules when it comes to emojis. I think emojis have become such an intrinsic part of our world now and our culture. There have to be rules, otherwise it'd just be free for all.
The eye roll emoji is probably my favourite to reenact.
I love that
in real life.
I love the eye roll emoji. I'm really obsessed at the moment with the emoji with the little with the guy with the sunglasses on. I'm obsessed with it. I don't know if it's because I'm not very cool in real life and the emoji's probably cooler than I actually am.
No, it's probably cooler than most people I know. And you've just brought that into like my life now. I'll look at that now and think, yeah, you're not giving me the glasses emoji guy. You're gonna have to try again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm having to live up to my own emoji.
But thank you for bringing that up because I'm glad that we spoke about it today as well. And yeah, I'm glad we've discussed it because it is very important.
I think it is,
so
and
important.
I think equally, I do understand what you mean about like you kind of want to put it to bed now because you've dealt with it and you've moved on with your life, and I do understand.
Maybe that's a bit selfish of me though, because probably, as you said, it's you never know who's listening. Yeah,
I just think as men with a platform, which you and I both have, not to be martyrs about everything, but I do think we have a certain responsibility when it comes to our fellow man to try and educate and inspire and to help, because there's a lot of men that will be listening to this, and I know this for a fact. There'll be a lot of men listening to this. There'll be men that listen to your podcast as well, who don't really have anyone to talk to, don't have that social element of their life, maybe don't have a family that they can talk to, and are quite closed off. I get messages. I've had a couple of messages recently from long distance lorry drivers who listen to this and say that it gives, who said that it gives them such a lift because they're kind of stuck in their cab for hours on end.
What an audience, though.
It's fab, isn't it?
Yeah, long distance lorry drivers.
Because you're alone with, especially when you're doing like long distance driving, you're alone with your own thoughts. And as you and I both know, sometimes being alone with your own thoughts when you're struggling is not a healthy place to be.
No.
So to have people like us talking and hopefully providing some entertaining content, can make a huge difference.
We need to look after the long distance lorry drivers more. We need to do something for them.
Maybe we'll put something together.
We'll make them a calendar.
You could. I was going to say you could put a club night on specifically for long distance lorry drivers.
I mean, it'd have to be a pretty big car park, wouldn't it?
You'd have to put it on like the M1 services or something.
In the middle of nowhere. Okay.
What's the best service station? It's that one in the Lake District, isn't it?
Oh no.
There's the services in the Lake District. It's beautiful. They've got like an amazing farm shop. Everything's really expensive. It's proper. It's like
seen the ones in America. They've got like you drive in. They've got like bars there, which isn't really like
I always think that's mad.
Yeah, just stop off for a pint and then drive down.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop for a brandy. We got off. It's mental.
It's mental. Like yeah, but you know what? I ain't mad at them.
I ain't mad at them. Oh mate, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been lovely. It's been a really laid back vibe talking to you, which has been a real breath of fresh air. Because sometimes I think it can get quite heavy quite quickly, but it's been lovely to have just a low key chat. And thank you for opening up and being honest and being vulnerable, because I know that's not easy. In this loud, brightly coloured world that we currently inhabit. So thank you.
No, it's okay, and I really appreciate you having me on. I was honoured when you asked. I asked. He said yes.
Bless.
That's the
Bless.
tagline.
We'll stop slapping each other on the back now and end this chat, mate. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see what's next for you. I can't wait to see what you do in Clubland in Liverpool with the LGBTQ plus community. I can't wait to listen to more of your podcast. The future's bright. You seem like you're thriving. Congratulations.
Thank you. You too, mate. Cheers, pal.